will be led by Reverend Dale Wiseman, Senior Pastor at La Crosse Baptist Church, and he will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Before I begin, on behalf of the officers of the Clay County District Schools Police Department, thank you for allowing us to be a part of this new agency as you saw it fit to take measures necessary to protect tomorrow's leaders, and we're thankful for the opportunity to serve this community. Will you bow with me for a word of prayer? Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight asking for your hand of blessing and protection on the students, parents, educators of the Clay County School District. We ask that you would lead and guide and give wisdom to Superintendent Davis, all the school board members, leaders, and staff in the school district. I ask God for your hand of blessing on the Clay County District Schools Police Department, Chief Wagner, the command staff, the supervisors, and all the officers. God, help us to walk worthy of our vocation as Ephesians 4 tells us. As we take our positions in our respective places, help us to be vigilant, as well as to protect and serve in your strength. Finally, my God, I ask that you would bless everyone here tonight in our communities. May you be glorified in everything we do, and it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Will you join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. The Clay County School Board monthly meeting will come to order August the 1st, 2019. I'd like to welcome you citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. Okay, try again. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, which you will find located in the back of the room. Indicate the specific item or topic you wish to speak about and turn it in promptly. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. First item on our agenda, recognitions and awards. The 2019 Clay County District Schools Police Department swearing in ceremony. And I'll turn this over to our Chief of Police, Kenneth Wagner.
I had this set up earlier to fit me, but thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm absolutely humbled to be in front of everybody tonight. School board members, thank you. Let me start with a review in history, because this history is very brief. Back in around October, I think Ms. Bola and Ms. Karakis talked about what are we going to do in our next school year? What are our options? What's going to happen? Look at all these different options. Fast forward to February 2019. You all decided that you were going to institute, and I think the words were do it in-house, to create its own police department. By majority of vote, you created the Clay County District School Police Department, and that was all to be in compliance with the Marjory Stoneman Douglas Act. With the board's decision, and I would like to recognize Mr. Bruce Harvin. Mr. Harvin, there he is all the way in the back. He began the application process with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. He is the one that set this all up and start the wheels in motion to get this going. And boy, was it a train. It was a train running on a track really quick. The school district then advertised for a director and for a chief of police in February 2019. And It was a grueling, tough, long, in front of a bunch of highly educated men to interview for that chief of police. Dr. Kemp, you guys intimidated me. I was selected, and it's an interesting story if you saw the News4JAX. It kind of left the story out, but I said, I hope nobody saw me in the parking lot. That was because Mr. Davis called me and said, I'm going to select you. I didn't do any cartwheels, I promise, but I was really happy. So right at that same time, and it was just a little bit before Sheriff Rick Beasler, he's retired, he is in our audience also, he was brought on as a consultant. I knew there was going to be lots to do and needed that assistance. I embraced it, and I was going to start the best school police department in the state of Florida. March 12th, with the assistance of Sheriff Rick Beasler, making a couple phone calls to some friends, all the way up there in I think Blacksburg, Virginia, I think it was correct, to where they issue what's called the ORI. We got our ORI in less than a month at record time, and that's where you reach out to friends and say, can you help us? Sheriff Rick Beasler is the one who did that for us. That was just the beginning. I had to start a long process. We had to enter into a lot of MOUs in order to establish criminal justice information and some of that networks and get in some memorandums of understanding to be able to hire who you see in front of you. With those, we got MOUs with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Clay County Sheriff's Office, Green Cove Springs, which is represented tonight by Chief Asdot, and Orange Park Police Department. The list goes on and on. It hasn't stopped, and we're still on that train track moving forward very quickly. I began that hiring process, and as you see these 46 officers sitting in front of you, I sat down with every one of them. And I've said it many times before, and I want to commit to this community. I asked each and one of these officers if something dangerous or adverse behavior were to come on our campus. I asked every one of them, would you be willing to stand up and take out that assailant and protect our students, our faculty, our community members? Every one of them said, absolutely, that's why I'm here. Those applicants needed background checks. As you can see, there's 46 officers here. I do want to recognize who led that work. I asked for the help of retired FBI agents who are in our audience, and I would like to ask them to stand and be recognized because they screened the best of the best. Retired agent Doug Jones. Richard Dick Harrington. Bill Dayoff. Bill Dayoff. He didn't make it, unfortunately. Al Hernandez. Frank Oliva. And last but not least, that led a lot of this work, Leo Dawson. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, these officers sitting in here, they're the ones that had to sit in, and I'm pretty sure those background investigators still make them nervous. After those investigators took place, I looked to hire 2 lieutenants to help lead that work, and they started about a month after I did. Those 2 will be recognized later on. That would be Lieutenant Mills and Lieutenant Romano. Lieutenant Mills is the one who handles our training, and that training started right there on June 6th and still goes on to this day. Lieutenant Romano is the administrative side of it, and he has been really both of them really my right-hand man to get this going and get this started. And they didn't realize that they were on the Amtrak going 100 miles an hour down that tracks. But the big day was June 6, 2019, when these officers started. Each and every day there was training. Probably some training that they didn't want to engage in, but they're training each and every day on many different things, and I'll touch on those. And that training won't stop until the very first day of school on August 13th. Highlighting that training, we went over emergency vehicle operations, use of force training, use and qualifications for handguns and rifles, FBI active shooter, active assailant training, safe crisis management, Florida law updates that will be from the legal advisor from the Leon County Sheriff's Office, Mr. Jim Pimentel. Mental health first aid, classroom de-escalation training, school familiarization all the way from the furthest southern part of our county, down there in Keystone, all the way up to the most northern part of our county at Argyle Elementary. And they all are going to be certified by Florida Department of Law Enforcement as school resource officers. Some of them already had it because they had that prior experience. And the list goes on and on and on. This group of professional men and women bring over 900 years of law enforcement experience. Individually, as an average, there's 20.4 years law enforcement experience. What I'd like to display for the community and our board members is a short video that will touch about what some of these officers did from June 6th to this very day.
One round, 10 hands, stand by, fire.
That is just a snapshot of what they did. A lot of things going on. Now to you, I gave some of you a little bit of teaser. This is your time. Now to you, our elected superintendent, Clay County School members, what I submit to you is a true token of this momentous day. Similar to military and law enforcement, challenge coins are used to instill unity among unit members and to recognize excellent work. For this, I would like to present to you your personalized inaugural Clay County District School Police Department Challenge Coin, as each coin is very specific to you. As you'll see in the coin is engraved S 2019 for the superintendent, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 for each of the county districts that you represent. These will never be duplicated again. They're yours.
I'm too. Thanks, Kenny. That is unbelievable.
Now for the superintendent to come down and share a few words. At this time, I'd also ask that the board members take their respective seats in the front.
Testing, I'm going to see if this works. I'll wait for the board members to come down. We'll make some room right here for them. No, the chair's ready. Thank you, Ms. Carricus. Yes, ma'am, I will. Yeah. First and foremost, let's give some love because these young men and women look beautiful tonight and awesome in their uniform. Let's give them some love. They look great. They look awesome. And I can tell you, as superintendent, my job is to work collectively with the board to make decisions that are the best interest of this organization. And, honestly and openly, I can tell you, we had some barriers in the way. We had some misinformation, some misconceptions about this body of work. But I can tell you now more than ever, I can tell you that we have done the right thing for this organization, the right thing for our children and for the working conditions of our adults, because these young men and women are ready to go to work and protect and serve our children every day in Clay County District Schools. I can tell you that. In addition, I can tell you this. We had individuals that were really instrumental in this work, and it could not have happened without their leadership, without their energy, without their courage to really stand up, lock arms with me and our staff to make this happen. So if I call your name, will you please stand up and remain standing? First is Mr. Bruce Harbin in the back, who initiated this work. Also, we have Dr. Kemp as well, Assistant Superintendent of Operations. Then we have this gentleman we brought on board. He's always standing. I try not to stand next to him because he's 6'5", and I'm like 5'6". Chief Wagner. And then there's another individual that, the first time I met this individual, I went to his home and talked to him about putting this together. I was blown away about his knowledge, his intellect, and his truly care for Clay County. And without him really pulling some strings and being really instrumental in influencing our efforts, I can tell you it would have been a harder task to complete. And this is an individual that I am proud to say is our sheriff, and that is Mr. Rick Beasler. I say sheriff because he's once a sheriff, always a sheriff. And then once again, we had two individuals that came on and took the leap of faith, who are with a great organization with the young men and women in green who are awesome in their partnership, who came to us, and that is Lieutenant Mills and Lieutenant Romano. You please stand up. There they are. This is the team, openly, and Ms. Gain as well, that made this happen. And I thank each of you for your dedication, dealing with me every day. How are we doing? Is our stuff coming in? Where are the invoices? Are our cars going to be here? Uniforms? What about the ammunition, supplies, the makeups, the policy? I thank you so very much, each of you, for having the courage to make this happen. So my hat's off to you, and I look forward to a great force. And thank you again. Let's give them a round of applause. I look forward to continuing a beautiful relationship with the Clay County Sheriff's Office. We have a great working relationship with Chief Asdot at Green Cove and also Chief Goebel at Orange Park. Together, collectively, we will continue to do great things for this community and do great things for our schools. Chief Wagner, from day one, I knew that you were the right hire for the school district. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what we've accomplished in a short period of time. I look forward to being a partner in this work, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's really hard to go behind that again. Golly. This night is really about these 46 men and women that are sitting, which you'll soon see face you in a moment. This is about them. What I do ask is that you hold that applause just for a little bit. So, you've heard the phrase, sworn law enforcement officers, right? Allow me to call Judge Timothy Collins to come up to administer the oath to me so that I can be sworn in as the Chief of Police for the inaugural Clay County District School Police Department. I'd also ask my wife, Amy, she's a little shy, to come up and help with this process.
You'll repeat after me. I, Kenneth Wagner,
I, Kenneth Wagner,
a citizen of the state of Florida
a citizen of the state of Florida
and the United States of America,
and the United States of America,
and being employed as an officer
and being employed as an officer
of the Clay County District School Police Department
of the Clay County District School Police Department,
and a recipient of public funds,
and a recipient of public funds,
as such, I do hereby
as such, I hereby
solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
so help me God.
so help me God. Oh, take it with you. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce you to each of these police officers for the Clay County District Schools Police Department. I would kindly ask that family members, when you see the first column of officers come up, to move your way to this side. I would ask everybody to give them room to get to the side. The family members that will be pinning these badges on each of these officers, please come up and meet with Ms. Gann on this side of the auditorium. Come on up. Go on up. Come 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 on up. Right up. Come on up. Wait till I call. Wait till I call. Go on. No, go up there. Go on up. Go on up. Go on up. You'll know when to do it. Come on up. Officer Lester Booker, he is being pinned by his wife Cindy. He has 10 years of law enforcement experience, and he come to us from the Department of Agriculture Law Enforcement. Officer Glenn Janan, he is being pinned by his wife Tiffany. He has 37 years of law enforcement experience, and he comes to us from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Officer Greg Lott, he is being pinned by his wife Wendy. He comes to us with 28 years law enforcement from the Athens, Alabama Police Department. Officer Alan Michael Reese, he is being pinned by his mother Charlene. He comes to us with 6 years of law enforcement between the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Officer Joe Lee, he is being pinned by his wife Christy. He has 29 years of law enforcement experience. He retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, but there is a special part to Officer Lee. He was one of our inaugural guardians that started with the Clay County District School Police Department last year. Officer Rob Troxel, he is being pinned by his wife Lori. He comes to us with 30 years law enforcement experience. He retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Corey Wilson, He is being pinned by his wife, Jennifer. He has 16 years law enforcement experience and comes to us from the Baker County Sheriff's Office. Officer Alex Stetner, his wife Erin is pinning him this evening. He comes to us with 6.5 years in law enforcement, and he was a member of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Christopher Robinson, he is being pinned by his granddaughter, Christina Lewis, 25 years law enforcement experience, and he retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Chaplain and Officer Dale Wiseman, he is being pinned by his wife, Cassie, 5 years law enforcement, and came to us from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant John Revis, he is being pinned by his son, Michael Revis, 18 years law enforcement experience, and he came to us from the Duval School Board Police. Come on up. 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 Sergeant Sarah Taylor is being pinned by her father, Russ. She has 18 years law enforcement experience and came to us from the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Officer Chris Kesting, he is being pinned by his wife, Dawn. He has 15 years law enforcement experience and comes to us from the Gainesville Police Department. Officer Thomas Brown is being pinned by his wife, Laura. He has 29.5 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Gary Brooker, he is being pinned by his wife, Jackie. He comes to us with 35 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Florida Highway Patrol. He too was a member of the inaugural Guardian program that started with the district schools last year. Officer David Kaplitz, he is being pinned by his wife, Michelle. He has 25 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. He too was an inaugural Guardian with the Clay County District Schools last year. Officer Robert Tootin, he is being pinned by his wife, Azure, 27 years law enforcement experience, and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. He also was an inaugural Guardian with the Clay County District Schools last year. Officer Sabrina Parrish, she is being pinned by her son, Gregory Parrish, and her sister, State Representative Kimberly Daniels. She has 29 years law enforcement experience. She retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Jack Bledsoe, he is being pinned by his fiancee, Megan Toon. He has 9 years law enforcement experience and was a member of the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Officer Gerald Ruiz, he is being pinned by his son, Gerald Ruiz Jr. He comes to us with 24 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Officer Robert Curry, he is being pinned by his grandson, Landon, and Landon's grandmother, Officer Curry's wife, also Cheryl, is accompanying them. He has 35 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Officer Ricky Stanford, he is being pinned by his brother, Jimmy Stanford. He brings 27 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Come on up. Come on up. Officer Steven Schrozinski, I won $10. He is being pinned by his wife, Dawn. Deborah. I should have put my glasses on. Deborah. I just lost my $10. He has 27 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Daniel Luxembourg, he is being pinned by his daughter Reese, which is going to take a bit, which is perfectly okay. And she is being accompanied by mom, Ashley, and wife of Daniel. He comes to us 9 years law enforcement experience and was a member of the Jacksonville Beach Police Department. Officer Tom Flacco, his wife Lauren will be pinning him this evening. 24 years law enforcement experience and retired for the Kissimmee Police Department in the Orlando area. Officer Adam Rabinowitz, he is being pinned by his wife Michelle. He has 18 years law enforcement experience and he comes to us from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Officer Rabinowitz was also a guardian in the inaugural program for the Clay County District Schools last year. Officer Larry Sapp is being pinned by his wife, Deborah. He has 12 years law enforcement experience, and he was a member of the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. Officer Philip Myers, he is being pinned by his mother, Kay Myers. He has 5 years law enforcement experience, and he comes to us from the Duval County School Police. Officer Jacob Saunders is being pinned by his wife, Crystal. He has 14 years law enforcement experience and was a member of the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Officer and Dr. Terrence Reed is being pinned by his son, Joshua. He has 25 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Chip Putman, he being pinned by his wife, Tracy. He has 28 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Lee Pittman, he is being pinned by his wife, Stephanie. He has 26 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Andrew Policastro is being pinned by his wife, Connie. 12 years law enforcement experience and comes to us from the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Carlos Chandra is being pinned by his wife Iris. He has 25 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. This one's going to wow you. Officer Michael Monroe, 14 years law enforcement experience, and comes to us from the Hawaii State Sheriff's Department. Officer Moses Bellamy, he is being pinned by his mother, Felita. He has 6 years law enforcement experience and comes to us from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Officer Guyla Banks is being pinned by her significant other, Mike Stevens. She has 13 years law enforcement experience and comes to us from the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. Officer Joseph Wade, he is being pinned by his daughter Savannah. He has 11 years law enforcement experience and he comes to us from the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. Officer Lori Browse, she is being pinned by Tricia Hansen, with whom she served in the United States Navy, and Tricia's daughter, Eiley. She has 18 years law enforcement experience. She comes to us from the U.S. Navy Military Police. Officer Hernandez Moose, he is being pinned by his son, James. He has 31 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Linda Jones, she is being pinned by her mother, Ann Singleton, and she's also accompanied by Officer Jones' daughter, Ann Johnson. She has 18 years law enforcement experience and was a member of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Officer Lynn Reeves, she is being pinned by her son, her eldest son, Kyle Gilbo, 27 years law enforcement experience. She retired from the Palatka Police Department. I see a big old smile over there. Officer J.J. Dixon, she is being pinned by her son, Sergeant Richard Henley, from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. She has 26 years law enforcement experience, and she retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Son followed mama's steps. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Detective David Oliver, he is being pinned by his daughter, Audrey. He has 25 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Now, I would like to ask the two lieutenants to take their posts. Family members of the lieutenants, please find their way. Lieutenant Stephen Mills is being pinned by his brother, Officer Danny Mills. He has 28 years law enforcement experience and retired from the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Mark Romano, he is being pinned by his wife, Kristen. He has 18 years law enforcement experience and came with me from the Clay County Sheriff's Office too. Uniform personnel, attention. Raise your right arm. I state your name. citizen of the state of Florida. A citizen of the state of Florida. And of the United States of America. And of the United States of America. And be employed as an officer. And be employed as an officer. Of the Clay County District Schools Police Department. Of the Clay County District Schools Police Department. And a recipient of public funds as such. And a recipient of public funds as such. Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm. Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And of the state of Florida. And of the state of Florida. So help me God. So help me God. Order. Right. Hey. Forward. March. What I can say to you as a chief of police, when I am in front of each and every one of these officers, and as you see and hear as I read their credentials, I am in awe. These are amazing individuals that I get to work with each and every day with our dedication and commitment to the Clay County District Schools Police Department. Madam Chair, I return it to you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Chief Wagner, we are going to have a 15-minute pause in the meeting. I know that there's a lot of families that want to have pictures and lots of hugs and kisses, and so we will resume the meeting in 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's not the only one. I would like to invite school by school. School by school.
Yeah. If anybody in the audience wants to get that one last picture for all of them, they're going to line up for this last picture. This one is going to be the inaugural police department picture. If you want to get them down, get them down. If you want to get them down.
Going to voicemail.
Gentlemen, someone has lost a phone. Seated, we'll resume the board meeting. And I'm sorry it's hot. The air conditioner is on high, but we had quite a crowd in here. In another hour, you'll be freezing. We hope. Okay, okay. We will now resume the Clay County School Board meeting August 1st, 2019. I don't know, well, I do know. Everyone sitting up here and our people on either side and the employees of the district who are in the audience, wasn't that phenomenal? I mean, I am just in awe. They said we couldn't do it, and
We proved them wrong.
due to the hard work from several people, as Mr. Davis said, I am amazed. And I hope y'all saw the cars outside too. They look great. Okay, now back to, oh, we were gone so long I got out.
So are they working on the AC?
It's turned as high as,
Yes, ma'am.
turned up as high as it'll go.
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. Due to the number of people that were in this room, it was set at around 64 prior. So right now we're trying to get it back cooled off
Okay.
and see if we can get it back to a comfortable feel in this TCC.
Okay. All right. We have, there was no student showcase tonight. There's no presenters. We have no presenters, no school showcase. This is the last call for comment cards. If any of you would like to fill out a card, please fill one out right now and hand it to, well, is there an officer in the room? You can hand it to Mr. Ward over on this side. All of our officers are outside, it looks like. Okay.
No, here comes one.
Okay, then we'll do public comments. These are our 3-minute speakers. Betsy Rager.
Hi, I'm Betsy Recker, and my address is on file. I'm just amazed by what you guys have achieved in a short period of time, and for naysayers who said you don't have time to do it, and we're rushing, and why are we in such a hurry? Because it was the best thing to do for the students, and I appreciate your leadership on that. I have 4 children that either have or now attend or have graduated. 2 graduated from this school. And this is one of the most beautiful campuses in this county. But my children very rarely attended a class in a brick and mortar building. They were almost exclusively in the portable park. I'm concerned about the safety for that. I feel much better about the safety after tonight's presentation, but I'm concerned because I know that plywood and siding aren't going to stop a bullet, and that concerns me. Grayson is about to be in the 2nd grade at Patterson Elementary, and chances are he'll be in the brick and mortar school this year. There are a couple of 2nd grades that aren't, but it is the last year probably in his entire school career, that he will be primarily housed in a brick and mortar classroom with thick concrete walls. That concerns me. That worries me. There is no time to wait. You have already proven that you can do miraculous things in a short period of time if you're given the go-ahead, if you are given the funding that you need. You can do amazing things. I hope that you'll continue to fight the fight. I hope that you will continue to be brave and stand up for what's the best for the students of this county, especially for mine. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Thomas Riddle.
Good evening. I'd like to start out on a positive note by...
Mr. Riddle, would you state your name and address for the record, please?
I'm sorry. My
Thank
name
you.
is Thomas Riddle. I live at 3536 Westover Road, Fleming Island.
Thank you.
And yes, Tom Riddle is my real name. I'd like to start on a positive note by congratulating the school board by providing the resources and the environment to bring the overall school grades up for this year. There are a couple things that have a tendency to raise my blood pressure, and one is raising taxes. And I understand that the school board wishes to run some laws through to increase our sales tax to provide for the upkeep and the renovation and perhaps even building new schools. And I really don't have a real great problem with that. I just have a question. What have you been doing with the money that we've been giving you for years and years and years? The second subject that I wish to discuss is an article that was found in the Clay today regarding cars for all our new school officers. Maybe give you a little background on mine. I have a baccalaureate degree in environmental health sciences. I have a master's degree in education. I have taught in overseas schools. I have years and years of experience teaching young men and even some children while I was in the Navy. I retired the Navy in 1980, and we settled here in Clay County. In any case, according to the article, the rationale for ordering all these new cars for these police officers is one, to take the child home if they miss the school bus. Two, if you have an ill child, to take the child home. On those 2 points, I'm thinking, you take the child home, there's nobody at home. Mommy and daddy are working. Who's going to take care of these children? Okay. Third, we have no juvenile facilities here in Clay County. Another excuse for buying these cars was to transport children to Duval County to the juvenile facilities. What's wrong with the Sheriff's Department for doing that? My thought on missing school buses and ill children is back in my day, you used to call the parents. Come and get your kid. He's ill. Come and get your child. He missed a school bus. Very often we had children that would miss the school bus. We'd call the parents, and oftentimes a child would have to sit out there on the school steps for 2 hours until mommy or daddy got off work. Going back to the tax thing, I have a sneaking suspicion that private taxpayers, and what I've spoke with some of my fellow taxpayers,
Excuse me, Mr. Riddle.
basically have shot yourself in the foot by saying we need to raise taxes, and then we turn around and buy $1 million worth of cars.
Okay.
Thank
Mr.
you
Riddle,
very much.
Thank you so much. The next speaker, Jamie Beck. I'm not taking any more.
I'm Jamie Beck, and I'm at 2223 Astor Street, Orange Park. I would like to say thank you for trying to get this half-cent sales tax for not, as Ms. Rager said, about our children in schools. My children will also be in a school where we have one indoor hallway, which is the front office, and we would like to see this sales tax used for some capital to help out with these issues that we're having and the safety of our children. I'm also a PE teacher, and we have no large indoor spaces for our children to go when it rains a lot of times. and no covered spaces outside for some of them at schools. My school is on, which is Orange Park Elementary. It is on a main road in Orange Park, and where we have gates that we keep closed all day long. If I need them for class, which is also my track, it is lined off for my units in track and my track team and my fitness testing. If I need them, I have to have our police officer from our school go out and open the gates and sit there. Instead of doing her job to keep the whole school safe, she has to sit in our roadway to keep my kids safe in class. So I would appreciate if everyone would really push for this half-cent sales tax. I think it could help not just our students and our teachers, but help our PE teachers as well to try to get some facilities that they need to keep them safe as well. So thank you very much.
And the next speaker, Catherine Morrison. Tell me you have a video presentation.
I do. No, I wish.
Oh, dear.
Catherine Morrison, my address is on file. I just want to come up here and thank you guys for trying to get the half-penny sales tax. I work at Charles E. Bennett, and for 5 years, we've been waiting for a new cafeteria, and we're still waiting. So our school is big with the number of students, but small in size and buildings. We have a whole bunch of portables that house 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and it's really hard to do when we have potential. We have the fence around, we have a resource officer, but as Betsy said, a brick and mortar buildings, a bigger cafeteria would be most beneficial for our school. Thank you.
Okay. The next speaker, Victoria Kidwell.
Hi. My name is Victoria Kidwell, and my address is on file. At the last school board meeting, we heard a great presentation from the district that detailed over $300 million in repairs needed for our schools. And I and many other people stood up before you and asked you, the board, to allow the citizens of Clay County to have the opportunity to vote, to provide the funding for those necessary repairs. The board understood the dire situation and voted to approve the referendum allowing the half-cent sales tax to be placed on the ballot, and I want to thank you for that. But now, the Board of County Commissioners has wielded its power to vote no to a special election for the sales tax, and a judge has demanded the BCC show just cause for denying your request. I'm not sure where that's going now. A lot of political maneuvering is going on behind the scenes. And rumor has it that some members of the school board maybe are changing their minds and are thinking about protecting their positions in election years and may not want the half sales tax now. I hope that's not the case. I work at Argyle Elementary. The school's not that old, but I went into my classroom today and the rugs are shambles. They're first graders. It's a mess. I know we don't have the money to do anything about it. And our school's not even as old as most of the schools in the county. Ours is newer. We're still not getting PICO funds. The repair list keeps getting longer, and we keep growing in enrollment. Politicians need to not be politicians when they're on the school board, so I hope that that's not the case for you all. I hope that you have not changed your mind, that you are going to be bold and brave. This great ceremony we had today is a testament, the swearing in of the Clay County School District's law enforcement, how we can accomplish something that we really need to do when we put our mind to and we fight for it. All the naysayers, it still got done. It was wonderful. And I feel safer going to school just knowing that they're out there. The experience, all those people that said, Keystone Cops, that was all ridiculous. We have a great force that's going to be there for us. We need to take care of our schools and our kids. And I hope that you'll fight that fight with all the politicians who are going to say, we don't need another tax. We need it. We know we're not getting that money from Tallahassee. $0 in maintenance this year. We're not going to get anything next year either. They've made their stand. We've got to take care of our schools and our kids. Please fight the good fight. Thanks.
The next speaker is Rhonda Jett.
Rhonda Jett, it's protected. I come from a projects of a small town. It taught me to be humble, taught me to be driven, and it taught me to leave things better than I found them. With a half-cent sales tax, we have that opportunity. The issue is the referendum was brought to the voters with lack of transparency and accountability. It was formed in the shade of fake crisis and emergency meetings, which begs the question, what are those immediate dangers? What schools are affected? How are we to ensure that the safety of those children? Words and optics have consequences. Our teachers, our students, and our community deserve better. It's been stated by a paid employee of this board that I hate my children. Let me be clear, I do love them with every fiber of me. And on the contrary of that individual's misconception, this isn't about me. It's about our community and the generations that follow that we are asking to shoulder this tax. What will we leave them? The board is elected, it is not entitled. Telling the citizen, let's get it on the ballot and then we can mark it, isn't called transparency, it's called entrapment. There's too much to stake for the airways to be filled with fake meetings and crisis. We must join and should join together to make Clay County schools great by giving the voters a referendum that's above reproach and that the voters can have confidence in. I've stated before and I'll state it again. If you don't do what is right, you become a part of what is wrong. Thank you.
The next speaker, Jennifer Burkhart.
Hello, Jennifer Burkhart. Address is 3063 Paddle Creek Drive, Green Cove Springs. I've stood up here over the last few years and have addressed a variety of concerns or issues, excessive testing in the classroom, issues with insurance, which now seem to be resolved, so I'm ecstatic about that one, about ESE teachers not being adequately or at all compensated for their extra work, about teacher autonomy in the classroom. Never once did I think I was going to have to stand up at a school board meeting and address the need for appropriate facilities in my classroom. So this is not so much directed at the school board other than my plea that you guys will continue to fight the fight and make it a priority to have the half-cent sales tax. And I would like to be a testament as to why, because everyone's acting like it's not a big deal, we don't need a rush. Why is it that we need the funding? Well, I teach at Orange Park High School. Okay, so I'm one of those teachers affected by the $1.2 million we need to increase the AC, the coolants. That's what was shown at our budget hearing 2 days ago. So I do want to clarify, I put in over a dozen work orders for my classroom alone because the AC was not adequately working in my classroom consistently throughout the last semester. So I do want to clarify, we're not talking about something we can postpone for a whole nother year until the next round of elections. This is something that needs to go before the public immediately, because I don't want to sit through multiple days where I'm sweating in my classroom, or hey, it's okay today, but it's not okay the next day. We know consistency in the classroom is important, and as a teacher in the state of Florida, I kind of expect to have AC working in my classroom. And I come from Orange Park High School, which is a very old school. All right, a little bit of paint and washing the floors isn't going to help the structural needs that we have in our school, as well as many other schools. So I'm a little bit confused if some people haven't been actually paying attention at some of these meetings. We had the picture showing the actual needs. These aren't fabrications. These are literal needs. I mean, I have documentation of 12, at least a dozen work orders I put in with the county to make certain, my administration did, to make certain my AC was being checked on. And then I come to find out, hey, we do have some major needs that can't just be fixed with a Band-Aid. So this is why. And also, I will address, we have unfunded mandates. So everyone talking about the other tax and so forth, unfunded mandates when it comes to the mental health with the 5 hours. Also, all of the unfunded mandate of hardening our schools and making it prepared for resource officers and so forth. That was all unfunded. Are people forgetting that? That's why we had to have the original sales tax, or the original tax, so the millage increase. So I think we want to make certain we got all of our facts straight, because we have a need, we have shown evidence that there is a need, and now we need to act, or at least give the voters the opportunity to act with full facts. So I just ask, please push forward. Please make certain you're fighting, because there are teachers out there that need AC in their classroom starting in August. August. So we're looking at very hot classrooms. And it's not daily, so it's not like the AC's out. It just sporadically works. And I can't be sweating in the classroom, and my students can't learn that way. So thank you for your time.
Amy Fears?
Hello. I also wanted to speak on the half-cent sales tax, and thank you all. My name is Amy Fairs, and my address is on file. I teach at an elementary school in upper grades, which means I have always taught in portables. And my current portable, it has moisture issues. It has air conditioning issues. It also works sporadically. The kids are so excited when they come in, and it's cool. During the winter, we didn't get a lot of freezing days, but the AC on the outside freezes up. So we watch for the sun, and when the sun comes over and unthaws the unit, then we get heat. So the kids are all like, yay, and they ask if they can go out and look and see where the sun is so they can estimate how long it's going to take before we get some warm air and can take our gloves off. They deserve better than that, and you guys know that. I just want to encourage you to keep fighting the good fight because we're not getting support from Tallahassee, and we need the half-cent sales tax to go towards our schools.
Just so Dr. Kemp will know, which school are you at?
I'm at Clay Hill Elementary.
Okay. I want him to take note. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That completes our 3-minute cards. So we will move to the adoption of the consent agenda. There were no items pulled. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Kirikas. Which one of you ladies are?
Thank you.
Second by Ms. Bullock. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. CCEA update. Is anyone here to speak for CCEA? She is flying home. Y'all aren't going to sub? Okay. And then the CESPA update, Teresa Roman?
Dixon.
Dixon.
I mean Dixon. Why do I do that every month? This is a past principle, and it just, I know who you are, Teresa Dixon. Okay.
Teresa Dixon, CESPA
I've got
president.
it. You know I know your name, but I do it every month.
Thank you. My address is on file. I just want to say how excited I was today. What a beautiful ceremony. What an exciting time in Clay County. You know, and as I was sitting there and I was watching all the officers come up and be sworn in and all of that excitement, I just started kind of thinking about different things that we've accomplished. So I started making a list. New police department in record time. And not just any police department, an exceptional police department with exceptional people that are going to be in our schools. New police department, record time. An A school district, again. 8th in the state. Keep rising closer and closer to that number 1. A graduation rate higher than we've ever seen. Instructional, or industry certifications, more than we've ever seen. Graduating college-ready students as per SATs, ACTs, and PERT scores, higher than we've ever seen. A higher fund balance than we've had in more years than I can even remember. Employee morale up, and continued collaboration between the employees and the district administration. Insurance contribution up, and the CESPA contract settled. That's just in a few months. This is exciting stuff. We're doing great things in Clay County. And anybody says that Clay County School District is failing its students is on a different planet, because we are not failing our students. Our students are more successful now than they have ever been, and it continues to grow more and more. We've settled that contract for CESPA. Every employee, once it's ratified, and I feel certain that it will be, I know that you will ratify it, and we're going to be recommending to our people, once they see that ratification package, to ratify that contract. Every support employee will see a pay increase. Now, is it everything we wanted? No, it's not everything we wanted. It can't be. It doesn't work like that. We have to meet in the middle, and that's where that collaboration comes into play, and that's what we've been working towards. We've met in the middle, but every one of my support employees are going to see a pay increase. The bus drivers, we're going to actually be able to compete with bus drivers in surrounding counties to draw in those drivers that we so desperately need. I am so proud of the decisions that have been made. Clay County District Schools have been good stewards of the money that they have been given to use. They have fought this battle with the state legislator constantly fighting them all the way along the way, constantly cutting. I keep hearing, what are you doing with the money? What are you doing with the money? What are you doing with the money? What money? The pot keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller for our public schools statewide. While we only have 2 charter schools in Clay County, we do have numerous ones in the state. And what does the state legislative sessions, they decide to do? They're taking the money that need to be provided to our public schools for the improvements that need to be made, for the building, the capital projects that need to happen. They're taking that money and they're giving it away to the charter schools. That's why we need this tax increase. We must have it because we must be able to continue to grow and provide for our Clay County students. They deserve it. It is time to get rid of these portables. It is time to place the emphasis on Clay County schools. And I guess that's all I want to say about that. We've got to do it. Thank you for everything that you're doing, for the decisions that you're making. I know they're hard decisions. I know you face a lot of obstacles in your way from time to time, but please continue to press through. This is what our children need. Thank you.
Ms. Dixon, amen. That's all I got to say. We had the last call for the public comment cards before you arrived at the meeting. We had the last call, and we were having a speaker speak when you came in. We have a cutoff, and I call last call for cards. If anyone would like to speak, please turn your card in promptly. You were not in the room at the time. I saw when you came in the door. We already were in the 3-minute speakers. Officer, Mr. Finning, you need to sit down. Thank you. Okay, the next item is D1, appoint 1 member and 1 citizen member to serve on the 2000. Oh,
Is that intentional?
never mind.
Skip me.
Oh, I would never, ever.
Y'all saw the
overlook
screen
that.
come down, right?
I saw the screen come down. Our illustrious superintendent would like to make his presentation at this
Illustrious.
time, an update.
Well, thank you, Ms. Chair. I appreciate it. I gave you all, last month, I gave everyone off and
Yeah.
made it quick. Well, I'm going to do something first. I never do Champions of Change first, but the weather is so great in here. I'm going to get these principals out of here and get them home to their families so they can enjoy their last Friday off, which they're never off. So I'm going to go down and do Champions of Change, and I'll come back and do this presentation. Before I do that, Ms. Dixon, you are on the road with me everywhere I go. Marvelous, outstanding job this evening, as always. All right, so good evening. Like I said, every month we do a Champion of Change, and this month we're going to focus on schools that have been highlighted and identified as golden and silver awards for the 2018-2019 school year. And this is really about identifying schools that represent annually to recognize annually for their exemplary work for promoting parent and community engagement. And for the silver schools, when I call your name, please come up. The silver school is for individuals that have, both schools have designated a volunteer coordinator at their school to help with the efforts. They've also identified volunteer students and faculties to receive orientation on and training on volunteerism. And then at the same time, they have student volunteer hours that are equal or exceed at least 1/2 of the total student population of their schools. So for the Silver Awards this year, we have the first one, which is Clay Senior High School. Are they here? There we go. Green Cove Junior High School. You gotta stay up here, Mr. Lewis. You gotta stay up here. Wilkinson Elementary School as well. And for the Golden School Awards, these are elementary and secondary schools who also do a lot of work with volunteerism. This is 80% of the school and staff has been trained in this body of work. The school has been designated an individual to lead the work for volunteers through a coordinator position. And then they have a total number of volunteer service hours that are equal or twice amount the number of student population within their schools. So when I call you up, please come up. Argyle Elementary School. Fleming Island Elementary School. McCray Elementary School. Montclair Elementary School. Thunderbolt Elementary School. I think they had to run out. Okay, Ms. Lorette, she's here. All right, thank you. Thunderbolt Elementary. Doctors Inlet Elementary School. Oakleaf Junior High School. Discovery Oaks Elementary School. Discovery Oaks said they're out, not dealing with this temperature. Rideout Elementary School. There we go. Keystone High School. Patterson Elementary School. Ridgeview Elementary School. Woohoo! SBJ, Brian Jennings Elementary School. Sorry. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Swimming Pen Creek Elementary School. Ridgeview High School. Coppergate Elementary School. Thank you, sir. Yeah, one class. We love it. Everybody's left, huh? Orange Park Elementary School and Fleming Island Elementary School. Sorry, high school. We go there twice. I had to do them that way. That's the way he did us with the AC this evening. It's all right. It's not his fault. He's doing a good job. It's really Kemp's fault. One last time, let's give them a round of applause for everything they've done. You are champions of change. Thank you for getting individuals to come and coordinate our efforts for our children, our community every single day. Thank you. 2 lines real fast, take a picture. One line may have to step up. It's kind of like me, short people like me. Kemp. I know, right? This room is getting lighter with attendance this evening, and no one wants to stay for my presentation because I do have some slides tonight, and due to the temperature, it may go faster than expected. So this evening, this evening we want to identify the objectives is to talk about our instructional accomplishments for 18-19, discuss leadership best practices, and identify our outlook for 19-20. As we said, Ms. Dixon just alluded to, the school district has really made tremendous growth since 2015, 2016. As you see, we were ranked 18th in the state, and we continue to have a staircase approach to improve instruction, teaching, and learning every single day. And as you can see, this year we're 7th/8th, and I'm going to give credit for both of them because we're in 8th with total points. We are 7th with the total possible percentage points, which we'll take that 7th every chance we get with that data because it's a true analytic, but just really shows that this is the first time we've been a double A since 2012. And this is all from the hard work of our teachers, the hard work of our leaders, our volunteers, our business partners, the leadership team, and the school board, all working with a singular goal of helping our children be successful inside and outside of the classrooms. This is a really neat chart by the numbers. If you look at this is a progression when, the 16 is 2015, 2016, prior to this administration coming in. You'll be able to see why this school district was a B school district, see the work that we've accomplished with the number of A schools. So, in 15, 16, we had 6 A schools, and everybody, we were so excited. It's a great school district, and it was, with great culture. But look what we've accomplished in 3 years, the transition from the 6th number of A schools and now of 24 brick and mortar district managed school, which is significant. We do have an area that we have to get better in, and we know that one school with Charles E. Bennett, and leadership did a good job last year. Well, we have a good plan this year. But overall, you see the massive progression for the number of A's that we've had in this school district, which shows the hard work every single day of all of our community members trying to have the same mission of helping our children. Overall, this is a 3-year analysis comparison in reading and mathematics. The far right side is the number of percentage points that we did increase in every one of these areas from 15, 16. And you see that you see all the numbers are moving up in the right direction. And me and Professor talk about it all the time and had many conversations why these analytics look great. These are actually children that we are impacting every single day. And some of these subsets with proficiency, it's equivalent to thousands of students that we have helped along the way. And in the bottom quartile in the learning gains, it ends up being hundreds of students that we have helped have a better understanding in their core content areas within the school district. Same mentality that we've had with science. Since 2015, 2016, we see great movement. And the reason you see the dip in science, because we had some master schedule change in guidelines from 17-18 to 18-19. But you can see that 18-19 is far exceeded what we were in 16-17 and 15-16 with significant growth. And the same way with social studies continues to have great progression. And middle school acceleration has been awesome, exposing children to higher level thinking courses that help them be proficient every single day within our schools. This is a grid of all of the grade levels by content that we have seen that have shown and demonstrated improvements in areas that we have of opportunities. We hope this all to be green every single year, but we know that with different dynamics that take place in our classrooms, with different readiness levels and different complexities, and sometimes changes in curriculums, this will always be a fluid document. As you can see, 14 of the 21 cells maintained or improved in Clay County, which is a celebration to the hard work of our educators. And we see the big thing is if you look at the, all of literacy, it's really hard to move literacy proficiency. Lots of green in that area with a target area of 3rd grade and 8th grade. In the area of mathematics, we see that 5th grade is an area that we will address as well. But 8th grade, the reason the 8th grade is down is because we added more students who are level 3s taking accelerated courses to Algebra 1 for equity equity opportunities, and I will take that every single day. And that is directly linked to the Algebra 1 score as well. And then science, we have an area of opportunity, but the entire state went down with science. So we're really going to focus on leveraging our new content and make certain that we have our teachers and students exposed to aligned investigations with inquiry-based learning so that children are not only interacting with text, but also interacting through experience labs so that they can really turnkey and have a better understanding of what they're actually being taught through their standards. And then biology, we knew that as master schedule changes, we were throwing so many students in biology in the 9th grade that were not intellectually exposed or ready for that material, so we changed the dynamics. And this will definitely increase next year when as we have put students in, environmental science, what helps them be exposed to in the 9th grade exposed to bio standards for the second half of the year, and they'll be excited and exposed to bio for the following year and have greater preparation. And then you see some great work happening in U.S. civics and U.S. history. Kelly Watt and her team do a phenomenal job. And hats off to Mr. Connor and Kim Bays for leading the work and helping leaders and helping teachers every single day with this analysis. Have a lot of highlights with our schools. These are our schools that made the greatest gains in Clay County. And Shadowlawn Elementary School, I tried to give her some shout out today in our principals meeting. She's in the Keys, and we hope you're watching us. But congratulations, and also Swimming Pin Creek did some great things. And you see on this, there's some schools that really have some fluent kids at their schools. And if you look at Lakeside Junior High School, you look at Orange Park, you look at Green Cove Junior High School, Orange Park Elementary School, these are schools that already have fluent kids. It's really difficult to move those students from one stage to another level. So if they're doing it, that means everyone can do it within our school district. And then here's the biggest celebration that we had a number of schools move from B's to A's. And just from the hard work and dedication through lesson planning, teaching cycles, learning cycles, independent learning cycles, and really focused on better understanding their content and gaining access to children. And some major movements in these areas. And one thing I highlight, if Charles, W.E. Cherry is a school that has so many complexities, and if this school can move their school continuously to an A, then everyone of our school district can do the same thing. And hats off to them in their work. And I'd like to highlight McRae as well. McRae is, was a systemic C, and then over the last 2 years, they've had a tremendous bump in focus, and hats off to the teachers who are working tremendously hard and the leaders to make that school become an A and compete with everybody within our district. And then, so how do we do this? How do we maintain this in Clay County District Schools? Well, we really focus on building the capacity of every stakeholder within our community, whether it's instructionally and non-instructional. We make sure that we help them better understand their craft, better understand their job so they can help students along the way. We want to make sure that we really have acknowledged our areas of opportunity and not just understand where we have barriers, but move to build true action plans that are workable and side-by-side teachers, and they're at the table helping us with this process. And we have to measure what matters most in our schools to have overall positive impact. And then we've got to establish, monitor, and refine our action plans in our school district, and then create individual accountability for 360 accountability within our schools and within the district level, but do it with grace and do it with respect. And then foster independent cycles of learning, continue to be a visible learner within our school district, and then establish accelerators and innovators in our schools and know who those individuals are and leverage their knowledge to help us become and continue to be great. And then, I'm going to, this is something I gave our leaders. I will not go over this tonight, that I gave them to really stay focused, to be in our classroom, to learn alongside of our teachers, to be visible learners, and then create networks within our principals. And also to, this is all about learning by doing, working hand in hand with our teachers to become better in our craft. And then overall, so how do we continue this to be great? Our outlook is to bridge instructional gaps, is to make certain that we continue to maximize our interventionists, look at learning gains for our children, to have personalized learning every single day within our schools, to build true PLCs and leverage the knowledge of our teachers, and really focus on and market the social emotional side of every one of our schools to better help our children and to have internal and external resources to be successful. And overall, we want to make sure that we continue to expand choice. There's a number of choice programs moving along within our school district this year, and then we're going to launch and implement community learning series. Right now, we have, this work is being done by Professor McCauley and also Mr. Karakas, who are going to go on the road and really get in front of our community to really help them understand how to be a better first educator, to help them with the skills they need to be fluent within our community. And then overall use some analytics through climate surveys and panorama surveys to better understand how we can continue to evolve. So many thanks to our teachers, many thanks to our leaders and our parents and our students and to this board for trusting us in this work. And I'm excited that we moved from a 707 to a 721 this school year, which is really hard to do to maintain our efforts. So thank you for trusting in us, and we'll continue to work hard every day.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, ma'am. We can put that up.
Next is D1, appoint one board member and one citizen member to serve on the 2019 Value Adjustment Board. we brought this up at our agenda review the other day. I had asked Ms. Bush to call several weeks ago when we first were told about it. I'd asked her to call to see if what was that?
The screen.
Oh, not jumpy or anything. But I had asked her to call the citizen appointee from last year just to see if she would be interested in doing it, and she indicated she would be. I have since received information that another lady would like to be the citizen appointee, so one would be Leslie Dewar, who served before, and the other is Rhonda Lee Jett. And so I guess we should just vote on them. I don't know, I'm not going to just appoint one. But what do y'all think? What are your wishes? Do you want to vote on it?
We can vote, but I think we could probably just reach consensus. I don't think we
Yeah,
need the
all
formality
right.
of a vote.
So what do you think? Speak up,
I think
please.
if you've already reached out to Mrs. Dewar, you should probably go
Yeah,
with her.
she said she would be
Had
happy
you
to
not,
continue
I would
serving.
say, open it up, but you've
Okay.
already
Yeah,
kind
it
of
would be
made that
kind of awkward to
commitment.
call her back and say, no, we decided not.
And I
So,
think, did Mrs. Bullock say she would sit on it?
yeah, we're going to get to that after we do the citizen. So you want to just let Ms. Dewar? Okay.
I was thinking the same thing,
Okay,
that we had already talked
but I
with Ms.
appreciate the offer. Don't go far. One of these days, we'll say, hey.
I think we
Okay.
could put her on the docket for next year.
I was going to say that as well, for next year. And that's-
Okay, and then we need one board member, and I believe that last year it was Ms.
me.
Gilhausen and Ms. Bullock was the alternate, and so we were kind of discussing maybe Ms. Bullock.
I'll be happy to be the alternate.
Okay, so
That's
if
fine.
it- is that,
If your
is
feelings
that,
are hurt,
do I
Not
have
one bit.
agreement from the board that it'll be Ms. Bullock and
That's
Ms.
fine.
Bola will be the alternate?
We're trying to confuse you with all our B names. Yes.
Yeah.
It's working.
Bullock,
That's right.
Bola, we need some more Bs in here.
Busy bees.
Okay, Ms. Bush,
We do need to vote on this, though.
do we need to vote on this?
I think you just appoint them.
Okay,
It sounds like an
well, it
appointment.
says appoint, that's why
Yeah.
I was
Well, it
wondering.
says motion to
Yeah,
appoint.
I think we do, so maybe we should, Mr. Bickner, is this something we should be voting on?
I generally say vote, but you can, if it's by consensus and everybody's agreed with it, I don't think
Everybody.
you need a vote.
Okay,
That works.
okay, so we have a consensus, right? Okay, Ms. Bush, you have the names? Okay. Human Resources Special Action A, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve?
I'll second.
Have a motion by Ms. Bola, second by Ms. Caracas. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'll open a public hearing to approve modifications to the 2018-2019 Student Progression Plan. Is there anyone here who would like to address this item? If not, I'll bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Who seconded it?
I did.
All right. Motion by Ms. Caracas, second by Ms. Bullock. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. The next item is, I'll open a public hearing and vote to improve as advertised the adoption of astronomy, forensic, marine, and physical science materials. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to address this item? If not, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second?
Was that Ms. Bola?
Yes.
Okay. Have a motion by Ms. Caracas, second by Ms. Bola. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Next is the public hearing to approve the 2019-2020 Student Handbook and Student Code of Conduct. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to address this item? Not, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval for discussion.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second, a motion by Ms. Gilhousen, a second by Ms. Bola. Now for discussion, Ms. Gilhousen?
I just had one area of concern, and it was in regard to the random search part of our student handbook. And the questions I had are, first of all, who will decide that we're having a random search? Second of all, who will perform the random search? And thirdly, I've had a couple of parents concerned about daughters and having a male search their daughter. So I just wanted, for points of clarity, to speak to
Okay.
that.
Let me ask Mr. McCauley to respond to that. Or you want to respond? Or go ahead, Mr. Davis.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Through the chair. Well, first and foremost, we have every legal right to conduct searches.
Sure.
And I think for us, we have to be proactive in our efforts. We usually will conduct searches if we have any tips, or if we are informed, or if we have any suspicion. That allows us to go in order to conduct the search in order to better understand the situation to protect our children. And I think we have to do that, especially in this day and age, in this era that our students live in, which is much different than the one that we have. As relates to who will determine it, the administration will determine that, and it would not be
school-based administration.
School-based administration will determine that. It'll be in collaboration with whether it's students who see something, say something, or teachers. We will get more of the information that we have, and we feel that there's definitely a need, then we will go in and we'll do it in a graceful and delicate manner. We will make certain that we have the appropriate staff. If males will go in, male teachers, or educators, administrators will go in and search males, and then we will make certain that we have female staffs that will take care of females as well. As you know, I have two daughters, one that just graduated, one attends this school district, and we will make sure that they are treated with grace and respect as always in this leadership. So we'll do that. There will always be, we will not ask if we think that there's something related after our search that law enforcement needs to be involved. They will be involved at that, after that stage, secondary from our preliminary work internally within our school district. But at the end of the day, we have to be proactive in our measures, and and legally we have the right to do so, and we will continue to conduct these searches as needed and as informed within our school district. Professor, anything?
To the chair and to Ms. Gilhousen, we don't take the decision lightly, and it's not as if they are done constantly, but I appreciate your question and concern. And to the superintendent's point, when it's needed, it'll be done with consultation of people like John Ward and myself before anything is done. And typically, random searches really don't involve the individual as much as they do book bags or lockers or spaces that students could store things. So
See, now
that's the
that, to
primary.
me, that's a little bit different. If a random search versus a search for cause, and it sounds like what you just spoke to, or that basically our process is that we search for cause. If there's a reason, but is that not the case?
Through the chair, we will search. If there's a situation that comes up to us and there's a need to search, we will conduct a search. I mean, we have to conduct a search. And like Professor said, regardless of what it would be, maybe it's a locker, maybe it's a book bag, maybe it's an individual. We'll ask them to independently what's in their pockets, whether it's in their socks, whatever it may be. We will conduct that search as needed if there's some type of if there's some type of information that we get that we believe that we have to conduct it.
Okay.
Yep.
That answers my question.
Yep.
Thank you.
And just as a former principal, I conducted many of those myself, and 9 times out of 10, the information we had received was correct, and we found something that was that we needed to address. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Next, D6, public hearing to approve new school board policies, Police Department Section 9, General Orders 9.01 through 9.16. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to address this item? Not? I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Have a motion?
Sorry.
Second by Ms. Bola. Okay. Have a motion by Ms. Gilhousen, a second by Ms. Bola. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. School board attorney remarks? None. School board member remarks. I think I started with Ms. Gilhousen last time. I'll start with Ms. Bola this time.
Thanks. First of all, shout out to Caleb Dressel. He is
Isn't that
making Clay
something?
County proud.
Wow,
Woo!
yeah.
Go. And numerous other Clay High graduates that were in the paper and doing wonderful things.
Amazing.
A thank you to Ms. Corsi. I know that she is somewhat officially retired now from being an assistant principal, and just wanted to say thank you for all of your hard work and all that you've done for our community. You will be missed, but we'll see you, I'm sure. The only other thing, aside from, wow, teachers come back on Tuesday. And it's exciting. It's an exciting time. It's the beginning of the school year again. It seems like just a week ago we were saying thank you for the wonderful job that everyone did last year. But the year is starting off, I think, really well, and will continue to progress very well this year. The only other thing I wanted to bring up, Ms. Studdard, I read in the newspaper that the University of Wisconsin is going to be playing Alabama.
I saw that.
You know, so I will start wearing my Badger gear and bringing you all into the, you know, the Wisconsin.
I will call it out of order.
Yeah, hey, you betcha. Other than that, I hope everybody enjoys their last day off tomorrow. It's going to be a busy week next week, and I know everyone's preparing, and I've already seen many teachers in their classrooms getting ready. So good luck to everyone. Be safe and enjoy.
Okay, Ms.
Bullock.
Bullock.
Bullock, yeah.
I know which way you're headed.
I
I
got
was,
it.
Lucky to serve on the Community Partnership School at Keystone Heights High School, and we had a great meeting this past week. Mr. McCauley was there, and Tina Baker is doing a great job at Keystone, and I'm very proud of her. I had to ask Chief Wagner to meet me with the residents this past week, and I appreciate him doing that. And while I was there outside of Keystone Heights Elementary School at the parking lot, the custodian started waving to me that was doing the grounds. He came over, got off his mower, unlocked the door, threw his arms around me and said, "I thank you so much for that additional custodian." So thank you, board, for approving that additional custodian. And I'm passing this hug to everybody for that. And I would just have one question about this coin we got. Chief Wagner, if I get a speeding ticket, will it help me in any way? No way, I see. Oh, I've got to speed in a school zone. No, that's not good. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very nice of you.
Ms. Karakis?
Well, what a night this was. This swearing-in ceremony just touched my heart, and I got chills during this. And I wish they were still here, because I actually put a little sentence or two together. And to the men and women that answered the call when we started this police force, I just wanted to say thank you to them for stepping up when we really needed them. They stepped up to protect our children and to serve on the Clay County School District's police force. And I know of Chief Wagner many years now, and I have the utmost faith and respect for you. I know that you're up for the challenge, and I know that we're in good hands. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all these men and women that stepped up for us. I really appreciate it. That's it.
Ms. Gilhousen?
So over the last week, I've had several phone calls and emails asking me specifically about our children in Clay County schools in danger. And unfortunately, our meeting was adjourned before that question was answered. So I'm not trying to rehash a sore subject at all, but I believe that that question deserves an answer. And you know, we've got school starting on the 13th, less than 2 weeks away. I want parents to know that our kids are coming to a safe environment.
Would you like to address that?
Through the chair, I was out of town. I guess you're talking about a meeting that took place. I'm not certain that.
It was we had 3 meetings that day. I think that
Okay.
it was during the budget hearing, I believe.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I can tell you, as superintendent of schools, we are ready and prepared. We will have for the first time ever, you will have resource officers at every one of our schools in Clay County, which is a significant celebration. And we will have guardians as well. So parents, if you're watching, please rest assured that we have personnel ready to serve and protect every single day. And we look forward to a great launch on August 13th when our children come back. Teachers come back next week. We're ready to go for you. You get a chance to meet the individuals who will wear the blue every single day, the men and the women that will wear the blue every single day, and they'll be there to help you in any way, shape, or form to protect and serve and for our children and our adults. So we're ready to go, and we're excited about the opportunity.
So no danger, no emergency. The other thing that, tonight was very moving to watch these men and women who dare to don a uniform that a lot of times attracts danger to them and the risk that they put themselves in that position. And it's an honorable service to our community, to our children, to our teachers and staff, and I want to say thank you to them. But one thing that's concerning to me is that I'm of the understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we are not placing resource officers at our charter schools. Is that correct?
Through the chair, we have staff that's communicating continuously with charter schools. The charter schools, they get a prorated portion of money through the outlined by the state, and we have asked them what their wishes are at each of their schools. And I believe that one's going to continue the Guardian program at St. John's Classical. They will continue to movement with a Guardian, and the other charter school that we currently have will continue their current route, which they are outsourcing the work with retired, off-duty officers who will continue to protect and serve. So we're in constant communication because we want to make certain that we serve every one of our schools. And this is the election to these two agencies, and I say agency schools have identified that they will continue the work.
May I say something? And let's remember, when we approved this police force, we approved it for public schools, for Clay County schools. We didn't approve it for any charter schools.
Charter schools are Clay County public schools.
They're not one of our schools. They're charter schools. We don't run them. We don't govern them. We have no authority over them.
That's not
So
true.
We
But-
did
Okay.
not approve it.
Okay, we're not going, ladies, please conduct yourself professionally.
We are professional. We're having a discussion, and we did not approve that. So if that's something you would want, you'd
correct.
need to put it on the agenda for the board to vote for.
Well,
So
I'm
can-
just asking for what is the board's opinion on that?
Yeah, sorry. So through the chair, I don't mean to stop and disrupt you. Through the chair, if this board directs me, I was going to say that it directs me to take a different stance, then we will go back to their governing boards. Their governing boards will decide how they do that. We cannot force them to take, we can't force them to take guardians. We can't force them to hire outside agencies. We can't, force them to take on resource officers through our umbrella. It's up to their board. So if this board decides that they will fund it differently, then just give me direction, and we will continue our collaboration to make sure that every child in this county is protected.
I think the way we're handling it with them getting their portion of the funds is how it should be handled.
But they're not receiving a portion of the safety funds that we raise through the millage. They're not. So they don't have the funding that we have.
They're getting it from the safe school money.
Which is
That's what they're supposed to
a
receive, not the millage money.
fraction. It's not enough to pay a salary for a resource officer.
That's talk to their board of directors. That's their situation.
So because of money, we're not going to protect the children and the faculty of the charter school because some board members believe that they don't belong to the public school district. Is that what I'm understanding?
I don't believe that the charter school is one of our schools that we're responsible for. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Exactly. And I don't want to interrupt you if you're not done. It's still your comments.
I think that answers my question, unless the other board members have something they'd like to say if they feel differently. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter where a public school child goes to school. They're all our responsibility. Their safety is our responsibility. And I don't understand how you can value $1 more than a child's life or a teacher's life. Those
I think
schools
you
are
should
full of children and teachers.
Take it up with their governing body. That's what I think you should do. But I did have a question that she just brought to my mind. We did receive a letter from Commissioner Diane Hutchins advising us that they had let go of their principal, or that their principal resigned, that there was accusations of grade changings, and I'd like to know an update on the status of the investigation, as well as have they filled that principal position at this point?
So through the chair, I have not had knowledge that they have filled this position as of yet. I asked staff a couple days ago if they feel a position because we want to make sure we have constant communication. I know we've been working with their assistant principal. As relates to the investigation, our job was to extend this to the charter schools so they can do their own internal investigations since they don't work for us through brick and mortar and under our governance. But we did, as professionally expected, move this information through HR, send this to the professional standards, so professional standards has that as well. But since then, I believe the individual has resigned. But I don't know any updates that they have come through, whether or not they're involved in that investigation at this time.
And you'll let us know when you find out?
Yes, ma'am, through the
All
chair,
right,
I will
thank
get
you.
with our division.
Ms. Karakis, I'm sure you could contact their governing board and get that information.
I would rather go through our superintendent than do that, but thank you for the advice.
I would also like to just make one comment about Ms. Gilhousen with the emergency situation. Even though our schools are ready to be open, there are emergency situations that do exist, and we have to work around them. And I will tell you for a fact, at Keystone Heights High School, they have a sewer issue going on right now, which Dr. Kemp has not been unable to find a contractor to go and take care of that issue. So that's an emergency. I can trust you. When my septic tank goes out, it's an emergency.
Okay. Any more comments?
No, that's
Okay.
all. Thank you.
Okay, then my turn. I am so excited. This has been like Christmas. Officer Miles Romano, Lieutenant Miles, Lieutenant Romano, Chief Wagner. And tonight I said officers, not deputies. See, I'm learning. Okay. The presentation tonight was over the top. And, you know, I was sitting there listening to their background when they were being pinned. Do you have any idea how much total numbers, how much experience, all of them total together? Have you added it up? I was just absolutely amazed at the years of experience that they were bringing, and they seemed excited, and they were happy and upbeat, and they're looking forward to getting to work, and it was just thrilling, and I know we're all excited about it, and oh my goodness, oh my, well, my hat's off to you, and we wish you all well. We're behind you 100%. Okay. Well, the teachers are getting ready to come back, and then the 13th, I believe, is the first day for the students, and here we go again. Let's hope the air conditioners keep working, and that we don't have hot kids like we were hot earlier tonight. It was hot in this audience tonight, but we had a lot of people in here. It's starting to cool off now that it's almost time to adjourn the meeting. But I want to wish you all good luck this school year. I am thrilled that we are settled with CESPA. Hope we can finish it out before long. So I hope everyone has a good evening, and we have a great start to school, and have a happy night. Good. The meeting's adjourned.